So that leads us to track number 9.
Number 9.
Hope Says. Little did we know how much we would need the song.
Well, I think, it was written at that time period when we were just thinking we were writing, you know what I mean, and not going to do the artist thing anymore. And so a lot of the songs, again, you've heard this from us, it's worth repeating. This is one of those songs that we were just writing out of our hearts. And so what does that mean? It means it's one of the first few songs that spearheaded this record. It was on the first, I think, first 4 that we released off of this one to kind of spearhead the record. And this was our encourage yourself in the Lord moment of, you know what, it kind of parallels to What If in a way. But in a practical way, this is the confession of faith in this song of, yep, my circumstance says this, but what does the word say? It looks grim right here in the natural, but what does the eye of faith say? And I think, I remember there used to be a song back in the day, shout out to Casting Crowns and everything they've done on their ministry. They had a song years ago called The Voice of Truth. And I think of that song sometimes when I hear Hope Says, because I felt like we kind of did our own spin on that same kind of a message of, their lyric was the voice of truth tells me a different story. The voice of truth says, do not be afraid. Hope Says has got a similar message of Hope Says it's getting better. Hope Says I'm going to make it out. He's still writing my story from glory to glory. What is that? It's just a confession of faith and just saying, I choose to believe the word of God over my circumstances.
A little behind the scenes on this one that meant and means so much now with Dad being, going home to be with the Lord. I remember as we were trying to pick songs in that season, and it was one of the few that he would hear. Yeah. And I'm having coffee with Mama over in the kitchen at the table, and Dad is on the other side of the wall in his room, and she's playing it in the living room, and Dad has his arm raised and just lifting it towards heaven, and he's crying, singing along in the place that he was in. And he hadn't got out of a bed in over 3 years. And here he is still holding on to hope, still holding on to faith. Hope says it's getting better. Hope says I'm going to make it out. And it was in that moment as we're picking songs where it was like, okay, it ain't even a question. That song went to a whole new place for me for this record. I love the song. I love playing the song. I think Scotty absolutely crushed it. I remember him being at the beach, and he's still working, even when the guy's at the beach. He just works and works, and he's sending all these vibes. And if you listen back to Hope Says now, it'll make all the sense in the world on the production place of why it sounds so beachy and fun. Scotty knows how to do his thing, man, but that's just a cool song.